Hello. After reading Body Ritual Among the Necromana, my reflection of this article would be that it seemed very removed from the culture. It seemed very much as a person taking notes of how one another acted compared to actually ingraining themselves within the culture to learn more. It was very scientific, very straight to the point. I think that this kind of depicted how the American culture also tends to look at different cultures that may be very against what we believe in, such as Native American tribes we saw as very primal, very unsophisticated. That's how I took how the author decided to talk about American culture. So, a communication pattern, practice, or ritual in my culture would be how speech is portrayed. I am Austrian. My grandmother was from Vienna, Austria, and I grew up in a household where blunt speech was very much appreciated, and that is how we talked to one another. There was never hidden agendas behind our words as seen in American culture. So it was very straight to the point, very honest, very open communication that helped bond us as a family. As family is a very important thing in Austrian culture. So there was never any hidden words. It was always, if you looked nice today, we would say you looked nice today. Compared to if you looked bad today, we would tell you. It's a very blunt, open speech. This is often also seen in deaf culture, as when you are signing, there are no ways to hint at sarcasm or rudeness, so much as you say what you mean. This is often seen in very many cultures, except for the U.S. The U.S., our culture is we do not want to harm anyone else. We do not want to quote unquote trigger anyone by saying things that could be considered rude or disrespectful, such as, you don't look good today, or that shirt doesn't fit you very well. Those are all things that would be seen as disrespectful being said out loud, compared to in other cultures where not telling someone that they do not look good would also be seen as disrespectful. That's how those two cultures kind of connect. This pattern has changed throughout history very many times. So back in the day in Austria, it was very frowned upon for people to talk out of turn. Austrians as a whole are very reserved, very kept to themselves, although they are very affectionate with people that they know. It is seen as rude to talk out of turn, and throughout time, this still hasn't really changed. Austrian culture is still kept very traditional. So it is still disrespectful for children to talk out of turn or to talk against their elders, so on and so forth. So these changes could be beneficial or detrimental to U.S. culture in many ways. By learning how to speak in a way that there is a balance between being blunt and harsh, as well as being open and honest in a kind way, could be very beneficial to U.S. culture. U.S. culture has started focusing more and more on not triggering other people or keeping everyone happy compared to being honest. This often leads to more problems and can cause us as a society to kind of collapse, as we're not telling people things that they need to know, no matter what it is. So the value of being open and honest could actually help us grow as a society. As seen in crossways.org, the value of being blunt, it is often said that what we see in others and have in ourselves is a kind of wholeness that can be blunt and forceful and corrective when necessary, but also has a peaceful pattern of encouragement and affirmation and kindness. I think that this is something that the U.S. culture could adapt from Austrian culture by allowing oneself to have that kind of balance that is needed when communicating with different types of cultures is a way of actually forming those bonds that we need. by being able to tell someone, hey, you have something on your face, or hey, this isn't who you need to be friends with, that is a way that we can be open and honest while still being kind to each other. Thank you so much, and that was my video on intercultural communications in the American culture.